I wanted this for ages and it was even better than I expected. He sent to me, woof woof! Hey guys, it's me Marcus, aka the Mad Dog, and we're back with another video. February started off pretty well for me and I'm not really too sure why I'm mentioning that because I just realised that it's actually March. But the first book that I picked up was one that I was really looking forward to. It's Venom by Donny Cates Volume 2. Now this is the oversized hardcover. I really enjoyed Volume 1. It was one of my favourite reads of last year and I'm really excited to jump back into this series. I was quite fortunate enough to get the Absolute Carnage omnibus. I know that some people who've read this said that they had an issue because they didn't read that in the middle. Well, I'm fully prepared to commit to this full arc. I'm hoping that this is at least as fun as the original volume. I haven't really heard too many people getting hyped about this part of the book, but hopefully it's just something that maybe fell a bit under the radar and I'm still going to have a good time with it. But it was after Venom came through that my haul went up and a lot of you guys really liked the challenge idea. Some of you had some great suggestions, some of you had some suggestions that I'm probably not going to do because it sounds either way too expensive or it's going to mean that I'm not going to buy any books I actually want. But still keep the suggestions coming in. But for this one, what I wanted to do was something called the perfectly balanced haul. Because at the minute it seems like everybody's either a massive Marvel fan or a massive DC fan. I like to think, why not have both? I don't have a particular bias towards one company. They both have characters that I like and dislike, so I thought I'd test the waters and see if I can get an equal number of both Marvel and DC books in this month. So already in the first week, Marvel's already got the lead because I picked up that Venom book, but then I also followed it up with the Immortal Hulk Volume 2. This is the Al Ewing series. I noticed that it was going out of stock in a few places and I'd already got Volume 1. I enjoyed reading it, so I thought I might as well just pick this up and jump on it before it disappears and I can't get it anymore. I think it's pretty much inevitable that eventually this will get an omnibus, and knowing me, I'll probably double dip and get that as well. But by this point, when I'd already acknowledged the challenge that I was planning on doing, Marvel's got a 2-book lead. But I'm nothing if not fair, so I picked up the New Teen Titans Omnibus Volume 5. I really like this series. I can't wait to do a full read through. I know it looks at the minute as if Volume 6 is being cancelled, but I get the feeling they might just be resolicited later. Actually, it's DC, they'll probably scrap this line and do a re-release of the remake of this series. But I'm glad that I got this into my collection. I'm not really sure how many more omnibuses we would need, but at the minute I am caught up on this, and it seems like that's something that I was consciously doing so far this month, that I wanted to make sure that I was completing runs that were already out. And most of you may already know that there was only really one rival to the popularity of the New Teen Titans, and that was my next book, which is the Uncanny X-Men Omnibus Volume 4. I'm really glad that I managed to get my hands on it. I know that a lot of people have been having issues over here in the UK. Books Etc. had it and I just jumped on, and luckily I was one of the fortunate ones who did manage to get a copy. I actually prefer this cover over the direct market variant because if you look at the figure that's at the front of the DM, the body composition just looks weird. That's the only thing that I can see when I look at that book, and if you've got that copy and you never noticed it before, I'm sorry. But I'm glad that I'm finally getting a chance to pick up this classic run of X-Men. I've now got all these Uncanny X-Men omnibuses. I get the feeling that Volume 5 might be announced soon. So Marvel's currently in the lead 3-1, but for this next book, viewer discretion is advised if you're somebody that's likely to hate me just for the fact that I picked this up, but I got the first volume of Guardians of the Galaxy by Brian Michael Bendis. These are the oversized hardcovers, and if you watched Whale Watch last month, you'll remember that I was annoyed because the first volume, the main cover was a movie variant. I learned recently that there was a DM variant and that that's the actual comic book edition, so I knew I had to pick it up, but anytime I looked on eBay, it looked like they were going for quite high prices. Then somebody was selling it for about £12 buy it now, and it said used, but it's actually new and sealed. There's no issues with it whatsoever. I know I said that it looks like the rest of the ones going out of print. I want to do a documentary on like the rise and fall of Brian Michael Bendis, so to do that I need to read the high points of his career like Alias, Ultimate Spider-Man, but I also need to read what people consider the low points. So stuff like this and also his Superman run is stuff that I'm probably going to have to collect so that I can make that video a bit more authentic. The next book I'm going to get away on a technicality because it's the Lucifer Omnibus Volume 2. Now technically this is a DC property now, but I knew I needed to pick up some more DC books, and again I wanted to make sure that I was finishing off as many collections as I can. This was the only other volume that I needed for Lucifer, and I am really looking forward to starting this series. I haven't yet watched the TV show, I haven't read Sandman in years, so this might be quite refreshing to jump back into. Then because I've got absolutely no willpower, I decided to change the course of the ship and I picked up the Spawn Compendium Volume 1. This is a very whammy boy. It feels quite well constructed. It feels better than some of the DC compendiums that I've had so far. But Spawn is a character that I've always been interested in. I've read some stories of him throughout the years. I remember watching that movie when I was young, and it's probably fucking awful if I went back to it now. You know I've got Image coming up next month, so if you want to see me do a Who Is on Spawn, let me know in the comments section below if you want to just further your knowledge a bit on him. But just because I'm doing this perfectly balanced haul, that doesn't mean that I only have to buy DC and Marvel. I can still pick up other publishers, and this is one that had definitely been on my radar. I'm hoping that they continue with this in Compendium. Yeah, I do kind of wish that they'd done the oversized hardcovers because the art in here is fucking beautiful, and you just get a range of artists that you know throughout the years, but you get to see them in the 90s, which admittedly I quite like the art style that was going on throughout that time. But then something even more detrimental than me picking up another publisher happened. I got back into Power Rangers hard. But yeah, you've probably already seen that I've started lining them up behind myself again. I'm absolutely committed to getting as many of these figures as I want. And it all kicked off because Shadowcat knew that I was wanting this one for a while, but it's In Space Red and Astronomy. They're not actually in the box because you can see them right behind me there, but Andros is my second favourite Red Ranger of all time, just behind Wes from Time Force. I am fortunate that she surprised me with this, or else I might have passed up on it and I probably would have been annoyed with myself when it was out of stock. But because of this one set, that then meant that I ended up getting In Space Yellow, Zeo Green, and Dino Thunder Blue. I've also pre-ordered all of Wave 8. I'm hoping that I can find a Dino Thunder White somewhere, and I'm pretty much going to collect everything from the beginning up to SPD and then also RPM. But they are as big of a part of the Doggpound as the comics are, so they have to get a shout out in this video. But at this point in the month, Marvel was still leading the way, so I knew that I had to catch it up a little bit, so I picked up The Flash by Jeff Johns Volume 2. It's too early to drink, but a promise is a promise. I know that there's still some missing issues between this and the Flashpoint Omnibus that is due out this month, which I'm going to pick up. That's one of my favourite events of all time. It was the event that I first read in single issues. And similar to what I did with the Superman by Peter J. Tomasi, I am tempted to do a missing the issue on the Flashpoint Omnibus. But yeah, I read the first part of this series in trade paperback, but this is uncharted territory to me now. So I am really looking forward to jumping into this and seeing exactly if this holds up to some of Jeff Johns' later runs. So at this point, I needed an equaliser because Marvel was still ahead by one book, so I decided to pick up the Justice League International Volume 2. Yeah, we've been having trouble across here in the UK getting this for months now. I know that this came out in November of last year, but this was the first time that I'd properly seen it in stock. I knew that I wanted it, and I am hopeful that they do a third and final volume so that I can read this entire run. I've heard nothing but great things about it. I know that there's some controversy around one of the creators. I'm not going to get into that here. I don't really deal with any of that kind of shit. I'm just here to talk about books that seem fun to me. But in no way am I condoning what that guy did. I'm not even going to say his name. I'm not going to give him any kind of attention. And on the slim chance that he's watching this from his prison cell, if I ever see you, I'm going to beat the fucking fish and chips out of you. That's a fucking Mad Dog promise. Woof woof. But yeah, all things aside, still happy to have this in the collection. But then my girlfriend, the Shadowcat, the great woman that she is, decided to treat me to a few books. The first of which is one that I'm really happy to have in the collection, and it's Blade of the Immortal Volume 2. She actually got this delivered before it was actually solicited to get released, so I'm not really sure what happened there. And it's kind of funny because Volume 1 was the exact opposite in that nobody could really seem to find it at first. Now I know there's going to be about 10 volumes of this, but I'm fully committed and I can't wait till that last day when the final volume comes out and I can just read it all. Now if you've watched any of my videos before, you're no stranger to the fact that I'm definitely not a manga guy. That was weird. But this is one series that I will make an exception for. Dark Horse is absolutely killing it at the moment with these deluxe editions, and I can't wait to see what else they bring out as part of this line. She then got me a book I didn't even know existed, and it's Transformers the Manga Volume 3. I think she had a hidden agenda with this one because she knows I love Transformers, and because it's a Volume 3, she knows that I'm going to get invested enough to buy Volumes 1 and 2. But for me, I've always thought that Transformers is the most manga-like property that was ever created in America, so it makes sense that there would be a manga collection of this. I'm really interested to see exactly what their approach is to this series. And the last book that she picked up for me was The Art of Spider-Man, the PS4 game. I absolutely loved this game. I remember that I was ill the weekend that it got delivered, so this was pretty much the only thing that kept me going. I've got such fond memories over this, and the art style is beautiful. I've already had a flick through this art book, and it's just gorgeous. There's obviously so many Spider-Man costumes that were in this game that this takes up a large part of this book, but I just love seeing some of the concept designs, some of the things that didn't make it into the final product, and this is a great addition into the art book collection. But unfortunately, for as much laughter and bants as we have in All My Halls, this now has to take a bit of a sad turn. I was really excited about this perfectly balanced idea, even more so when I saw that Books Etc. had the Superman by Grant Morrison omnibus. Yeah, you can all already guess where this one's going. This does unfortunately have the missing page. I've reached out to Books Etc. to see if I can exchange it for the one that's meant to be coming out, but I haven't really received a response yet. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this now. I don't know if I can return it to another retailer. It's kind of a bit of a Wild West if you're not in America, so unfortunately this book does now feel obsolete. I don't even know what I can do.
2 seconds later.
Into jeopardy.
2 seconds later.
But if you think that's going to stop me picking up books, it must be your first time here, because I then picked up the New Warriors Omnibus Volume 1. Yep, hashtag do it for Mr. Omar came through. I know absolutely nothing about this book, but because of how much he raves about this title, I thought I'd give it a go. This looks like good 90s comics. I originally thought that it was 80s, so that's maybe why I didn't pick it up originally. But it's Mark Bagley. I love everything that he did in Ultimate Spider-Man, so I feel like I owe this a chance, and that's exactly what I did this month. But because of the controversy with the Superman Omnibus, this does mean that Marvel's now in the lead. And to make that worse and to counteract the series that I was trying to complete, I then started another one with Miss Marvel Volume 2. I got this for 54% off at Amazon, and I knew that these were going steadily out of print. I covered it in Whale Watch, and the omnibus only covers like the first part of this series, so I wanted to give this a try. Those Marvel Now titles that I never really read when they were coming out, I think now is the time that I should give them a chance. And it looks like Kamala Khan's going to be a big figure within the MCU, so I thought I owed it to myself to read up on it and see exactly what that character's about. But then I decided to take a step back and I treated Shadowcat to Cardcaptor Sakura Volume 7. I know nothing about this series. I hope that nobody asks me for an explanation of the plot. She said that it looks pretty. That's good enough for me. Then as well, she had an interview for a new job. She's still waiting to hear back at the moment if she's got it or not, so I got her a gift preemptively on the off chance that she did get it, but she was here when it got delivered, so I kind of had to give it her early, and that is the Magic Knight Rayearth 25th Anniversary Edition Box Set 2. I actually wanted to get her this for Christmas, but it just kept looking like it kept getting delayed, and then finally it showed up in books, etc., and I was like, shit, I'm gonna have to get this now. This still looks pretty interesting. It's got like mechs and stuff like that, and the art is pretty cool. And as well, for a collector's set, this is beautiful. You've got the gold foil that goes across it, so hopefully she gets the job now, or else I might have to take this back off it. But then Louis over at Job Lot of Comics was kind enough to send me another one of his mystery boxes, and I thought, why not open it as part of my haul? Yep, so we've moved across to the desk so that I can show you what's in this mystery box. Fun fact, this is the same desk that you've seen in Whale Watch. And I want to throw a huge shout out to Louis over at Job Lot of Comics. He was the first person that ever sent anything to the channel. I'm really grateful, and he sent another one to me now, so we're gonna have a look what's inside. Okay, so here we go. First off, we've got some nice cool little stickers here, and there's also a Hawkeye there. We've then got a poster for Infinite Frontier, which is pretty cool, which is an event that I need to catch up on. There's also a second poster here, so that's pretty cool. Now, the first book in the box, we've got the Eternals Behind the Scenes edition. I haven't really caught up on this. I'm not really too sure how this series reads. Pretty cool. It's got some nice behind the scenes sketches and stuff like that, which is really interesting. We've then got an issue of Tom Taylor's Detective Comics. Oh, that's cool. So I've got issue 1017 and I've got issue 1018. I've then got Captain Marvel issue 21, the tie-in for Empire. The thing that I like about these boxes is you really get good value for money. You don't really skimp out on the amount of issues that you get. Holy shit, this is nice. I've got a Brian Boland variant exclusive that was only available to Forbidden Planet. Oh nice, so it's issue number 1 of Punchline. I know that that was a character that a lot of people were interested in. And I remember when I got the last box, that was something that I was really impressed with, that they didn't just give you like a hodgepodge of issues. You actually got a lot of beginning of series and big titles that you'd be interested in. I've then got Batman issue 99 from James Tynion IV. Really cool Nightwing cover there. We've then got issue 7 of Jerry Dugan's The Marauders. I know that this is a series that a lot of people are interested in, so I might have to check this out sooner rather than later. So it's issue 1 of Marvels by Alex Ross and Jim Kruger. Not sure if the light's reflecting it a bit too much. I really like that. That's a really nice addition. I've then got Shazam issue 14. Looks like it's got some good Superboy Prime in there as well. This is something I'm definitely going to have to catch up on. That's what I really like about these boxes. They make me realise series that I might not have known about or maybe flew under the radar and that I probably should be picking up. We've then got Suicide Squad issue number 8 from Tom Taylor. Well, okay, this might actually help me out with the book that I got earlier. It's Venom issue 21 by Donny Cates. Oh nice, I've got issue 9 of Suicide Squad, so sometimes if they can, they give you like continuing issues so that you can catch up on part of a run. I think last time I got Savage Avengers issues 1 and 2 in that box. Oh, this is a really nice cover. So this is Action Comics issue 1017, but look at that. So that's the original cover, but it's got this like acetate overlay so that you've got the villains over it. That is really cool. I'm not sure if I can really convey just how cool looking of a cover this is. Okay, this is pretty cool because I just mentioned this, but I've got Savage Avengers issue 1 and issue 2, so I've got 2 lots of the first 2 issues of this, so might do a giveaway in the UK so that people can catch up on this series as well. But like I said, these boxes are really good value for money. You get some new issues for some new series that are coming out. You always get at least 1 variant cover, and you also just get titles that you would be interested in. Some of the variant covers alone, or the Silver Age or Bronze Age titles that you can sometimes get in these boxes, would be worth more than the cost of the box itself. A link to their website will be in the description below. I just want to say thank you again, but for now I'm going to pass it back to myself when I sit behind the camera over there. But we were quickly coming up to the end of March, and I was fortunate enough that Books Etc. got the Batgirl New 52 Omnibus. This is the run that was done by Gail Simone. This was one of my most anticipated omnibuses of this year. As you know, I'm systematically going back and reading different parts of the New 52 and doing reviews on it, and this is one that I can't wait to crack open and do a video on. And it was also pretty convenient that this managed managed to help DC's total. I've got fond memories of the first 12 or so issues, and I've said this a few times now, but I genuinely thought that this ended at 12 issues. I didn't realise that it continued for so long. So there's part of this run that either I don't remember or have never read, and that's the part that I'm looking forward to most. Begrudgingly, I'll have to add, was the Swamp Thing omnibus from the New 52. Yeah, I've already got the Scott Snyder Deluxe Edition, so I am a bit disappointed that this is the way that they went about completing that run. But at the same time, you're gonna have to get the toast on, boys, because as you know, the New 52 is my jam. I absolutely loved what I read of Scott Snyder's Swamp Thing, and I haven't even touched the Charles Soule part yet. So I am really excited to see where this run goes. I've even heard people saying that the second half is even better than the first. I know that some people are annoyed at like the minutiae parts of this, like some of the fonts that are on it. Like, I do understand that, but when you look at some of the other errors that DC have made, especially this month, you kind of have to take what you can get sometimes. Another book that Shadowcat surprised me with was the Power Rangers Artist Tribute. I wanted to pick this up for a while, but I just kept pushing it back and pushing it back. But this is a really nice collection of different art prints that are made from different artists. When I told you earlier that I've jumped back hard into Power Rangers, she's known that better than anyone. So she knew that I was going to be excited by this book. I've loved flicking through it. There's some prints in here that I wish I could get framed and at a full size. But I'm really glad that this is entering the Doggpound, and I hope that Boom Studios does a follow-up to this. But another book that I wanted to pick up and I was putting off for a while was the Black Widow by Mark Waid Complete Collection. But as you may already know, I think that Mark Waid is one of the most underrated writers in all of comics, and of course, he's Mark fucking Waid. This is a series that came out as part of Marvel Now, and I've only really read the first 5 issues of it because Marvel was giving it away for free at one point on their app. I'm excited to read this full run, and I'm already aware that complete collections can go out of print quickly without warning and also go for a higher price. I didn't want that to be the case with this one. I'm a little bit annoyed because it's got a small Marvel logo. I'm not really sure if you can see it there. So it does look a bit out of whack when you put it on the shelf, but I'm thinking of reading this just before the movie comes out. If that's something that you're interested in, let me know down below. Another one that I was excited to pick up, and should come as no surprise to any of you guys, is the Conan the Barbarian by Jason Aaron Deluxe Edition. I really needed this one, and I was disappointed because the first time it came up on Books Etc, I missed out on it, and I thought that maybe I wasn't going to get it. I heard that people had difficulties getting this one, and it was the one that I probably wanted most out of this new wave of oversized hardcovers. I'm so happy that it came up again and they followed through and managed to dispatch it out to me. I'm just glad that I've got this. The art's superb throughout it. I read the first 4 issues of this in singles, but I didn't read the rest of it. But then as soon as I got this, I saw that Jason Aaron said on the Uncanny Omar's interview that he may not be finished with this character, so if they eventually come out with an omnibus, you know that I'm weak and I'm probably going to have to buy that as well. But the end of the month was near and Marvel was still ahead, so I had to make some drastic moves, and I picked up the Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey oversized hardcover from the DC Black Label. Once again, it's Amanda Connor and Jamie Palmiotti. I have to thank whoever it was that commented on Pull List because they told me that this isn't included in any of the 3 omnibuses. But this is pretty thin. I didn't know whether to do just like a quick read through and a review of it to kind of change up the pacing of my reviews. But I've had a quick flick through of the art. It does look great, but I do think it's better in the original series. But unfortunately, that was the last book that I'd bought for myself that got delivered in this month. And as hard as I tried, or how much I thought I'd completed my objective of being perfectly balanced between DC and Marvel, it doesn't look like I've done it. Marvel, unfortunately, was 1 book ahead. But then the beautiful man that is Comic Bound came and saved the day. I wanted this for ages, and it was even better than I expected. He sent to me Flex Mentallo by Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely. This is the deluxe edition, and I'd wanted this for a while. Every time that I saw somebody was selling one on a Facebook group, it was sold pretty much the minute before I'd messaged them. I kind of gave up. I thought that it wasn't going to happen, so when I saw that he sent me this, I was completely surprised. I don't know what I did to deserve a friend as good as him. I hope that what I'm sending him for his birthday will sort of go a bit of the way of bridging that gap between us. So I was already blown away and grateful just at the sight of it, but I opened it up and it's got a signed page from all the creators inside it. So this is even better than those copies that I'd missed out on before that I was planning on buying. For some reason, he didn't want any money for this. He just wanted to send it me as a gift. I am so thankful for this. You've helped me secure a whale that I didn't think I was going to get. And if you are watching this, thank you, just thank you, man, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being just such a great friend, for supporting the channel, and for sending me great books. And I can't wait to just thank you in person for sending this to me. It's so great, and it also helped me to save the day with this perfectly balanced haul. Yes, where the Superman by Grant Morrison omnibus nearly ruined this idea, Flex Mentallo managed to save the day. But if you've watched this far for the Mad Dog Comic Haul competition, there's something that I'm planning behind the scenes. It might take a bit more work, but there's a bit of a time pressure when it comes to doing these hauls, because obviously I have to gate out at the beginning of the month month, and then I've also got whale watch and pull list. It is the one time of the month where this channel is a bit stressful, and doing the Mad Dog Comic Haul competition, even though I am grateful that everybody gets behind it, it is a bit difficult to maintain that while still providing a good quality video. And I know what you're thinking, my videos are shitty as fuck anyway, so why the fuck am I talking about quality? But I might be planning something a little bit special. I'm not going to announce it here in case it doesn't come to fruition, but there is going to be one haul that I'm going to give a shout out to. It's from Doz Monthly Hauls, and this guy created an Instagram account just so he could get featured in this video, because he's got some great books. He's got the Captain America by Ed Brubaker, he's also got the X-Men by Jim Lee Volume 2, and it's a DM variant. Like myself, he's catching up on the Immortal Hulk, and he's also got the Batman by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale Omnibus, which is one of the first reviews that I did on this channel. But still, anybody that uses the hashtag MaddogHaul and tags me in it on Instagram, I'm still going to show you some love, and it might be that you see get featured a little bit different in a future video. Hopefully that'll make a bit more sense later on down the road, but like I said, I just want to make sure that I'm not putting too much on my plate with this channel. Because I've changed my approach to YouTube, I'm not just doing it to fit a schedule, because that means that the videos probably don't have as much passion in them. But at the beginning of the month, I love doing my haul, I love doing whale watch, I love doing pull lists, so that's still going to remain. But I have to remember that this is a hobby for me. I can't treat it like a job. I can't keep getting stressed out over it and thinking that I need to just bring stuff out to tick boxes because it's a day of the week. Because when it becomes like that, that's when I lose focus, that's when I lose passion, and I don't want to bring you guys videos that I don't even really care about. I want you guys to know that every time you see one of my videos popping up, it's something that I'm 100% passionate about and have given me all towards. Not just, oh, it's Wednesday, it's Friday, it's Sunday, so I need to make sure that a video's out, but something that I've gone, I want to make sure that people can watch this video. So moving forward, every video that I upload, know that there is 100% conviction to what I brought to your screen, and hopefully that will mean that the videos will just get better moving forward. I don't want this to feel like a chore. I don't want to lose my enthusiasm. I don't want to lose my passion. I just want to enjoy it. I want to have a laugh. I want to talk about comics. I've deleted the YouTube app off my phone because it was kind of toxic for me. You know, there were so many actuallys at one point that just like correcting everything that I did. So every time I went on my phone, I'd just see that those comments were coming through. Now I just take a little bit of time each day to go through, look at comments, reply to as many as I can, and it's just bringing that enthusiasm back for me. And whether a video gets no views or it gets 1,000 views, it doesn't really matter to me because I enjoyed the video that I made. I have to give a shout out to Joachim, Comicbound, and Dano because they helped me realize that that is the reason why we're on this platform in the first place. It's ironic because before every time that I go onto a live stream, I always say to everybody that nobody comes on YouTube to have a bad time. But I was doing that to myself by putting so much pressure to get these videos out that I wasn't even really caring about. That is no longer going to be the way forward for Mad Dog Comics, and hopefully you will notice a difference. But that's why I'm doing challenges in my hauls now, so that throughout the month I'm enjoying the books that I'm buying as well, because that's what this hobby should be about. If there's any challenges that you guys want to see me do in future that you think I'll also enjoy doing, let me know in the comment section below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you didn't, why did you get this far? Subscribe if you're new here and click the bell notification so that you never miss a video. And if you want to support the channel so that we can just get bigger and better, I've got Amazon affiliate links down below, and there's also a tip jar. It is greatly appreciated, and every bit of money that comes into this channel goes back into it. Feel free to check out one of my other videos, but until next time, just make sure that you stay safe, stay reading the best books that you can find, and stay mad all you dogs. Woof woof! See you in the next video.